I salute you, brethren. I know you are doing well. In my side, I am okay with the Lord. I have come once again, as I promised you, that I will be having a motivating and inspirational program. I know, lastly, and the time that you had time with me, you are motivated and inspired. Today I have a new topic in the breakthrough moment with Reverend Dr. Samson Kalama. Karibu sana. The topic that I have today is a topic known as crisis. Crisis. When you hear the word crisis, what comes first in your mind? Crises are normal. Even me, I go through crisis in the family, in financial needs, in the way I get money. I face crisis. Even our government, our government is facing crisis. All institution around, they are facing crisis. What is crisis, by the way? If everyone is vulnerable to crisis, what causes crisis? These are the questions that comes first in our minds. I want to tell you, my brother, my sister, crises are normal. They are inevitable. They are all around because crises are all over. Like our government, we are talking daily about financial crisis, financial bill. We are talking about the taxes that our government needs from us. We faced challenges when we had a lot, when the rains were bountiful. Some of us were swept. Our houses fall down. These are all crises. Crises are all over. You cannot avoid them. My dear brother, my dear sister, I would like to ask you, how can you overcome crisis that you face in your life? Some of us, when they are faced with crisis, they neglect themselves, they part with their friends, they isolate themselves, they introduce themselves to drunk abuse, they become fond or vulnerable to bizarre behaviors. How do you manage crises that are on your life? Some cry, some neglect their jobs, neglect their families, some neglect even their bodies, neglect a well-balanced food. Some do not sleep because of crisis. My question is, how do you handle and how do you manage crisis? What is crisis, by the way? When we talk about crisis, it is a situation or an event that you are not expecting to experience. The situation can be threatening, or it requires an immediate action to prevent it to go on or mitigate a harm. Often, it involves high levels of stress and uncertainty and may have serious consequences if not addressed promptly or effectively. Crisis can take many forms, my dear listener, including natural disaster such as earthquakes and hurricanes, medical emergencies, financial constraints, political unrest, or personal crisis such as sudden illness or loss of loved ones. In the context of psychology, a crisis also refers to a turning point in a person's life where they experience a period of intense difficulty or whereby one can experience instability, often combined by the emotional distress. This could include situations such as mental health crisis or relationship breakdown or loss of employment. In both cases, effectively managing a crisis involves assessing the situation. And after assessing this situation, you develop a plan of action. You mobilize resources and implement strategies to mitigate the impact and restore stability. Crisis management often requires clear communication, collaboration, and ability to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. We have a question. What leads one to crisis? I want to answer this question because we need to know what can lead this kind of problem or an issue. Crisis situation can arise from a variety of factors, and they can very greatly depend on the context. Some common factors that can lead crisis, I want to suggest. 1, sudden life event. Events such as loss of job, sudden illness, as I have said earlier, or injury, the death of a loved one, or natural disaster, as I have talked about, earthquakes, can all lead to crisis situation. These events are often unexpected, and can have a significant impact on individuals or communities. 2, there is what we call chronic stress. What is a chronic stress? This is a prolonged exposure to high levels of stress without adequate coping mechanism can eventually lead to a crisis. This can happen when someone is facing ongoing financial difficulties, relationship problems, work-related stress, or health issues. 3, trauma and abuse. Trauma and abuse. When one experiences trauma or abuse, whether physical, emotional, psychological, can lead to crisis situation. Trauma, it is an event such as violence, assault, accident, or natural disasters on having a long-lasting effects on individuals' mental and emotional well-being. Number 4, there is what we call mental health. Mental health is a disorder such as depression, such as anxiety, such as bipolar disorder, or substance abuse can increase the livelihood of experiencing a crisis. This condition can make it difficult for an individual to cope up with stress and many exacerbate existing problems. Number 5, social and economic factors. Socio-economic factors such as a situation of poverty, discrimination, unemployment, lack of access to resources can contribute to crisis situation. Individuals and communities facing systematic challenges may be more vulnerable to crisis. Number 6, lack of support systems. A lack of social support networks, including family, friends, and community resources, can make an individual more accessible to crisis difficult situations. Having a strong support system in place, we can help buffer the impact of stressors and provide resources during difficult times. Number 7, there is what we call natural disasters and emergencies. Environment factors such as natural disasters, pandemic, like we faced what we were facing, Kenyans and all over the world, the pandemic of a disease that was going around. Or other emergencies can lead crisis situation on a large scale. This event can disrupt infrastructure, cause widespread damage, and create immediate threats to health and safety. Overall crisis can result from a complex interplay of individual, social, economic, and environmental factors. Recognizing potential risk factors and having a strategies in place to address them can help to mitigate the impact of crisis and promote resilience. Now, let us see the effect of crisis. Crisis can have a widespread impact or a wide range of effects, both immediate and long term, on individuals, communities, and societies. I have suggested some of the effects of crisis. Number 1, it is what we call emotional impact. Emotional impact. Crisis can lead to physical and health problems, either directly through injuries or exposure to a dangerous condition, such as during national disasters, or indirect geo-intestinal issues, and the exacerbation of pre-existing health condition. Number 3, it is what we call displacement and disruption. Crises such as natural disasters, conflicts, or economic downturns can force people to leave their homes, communities, or jobs. To displacement and disruption of daily life. This can result a loss of stability, social connections, and access to essential services. Number 4, it is what we call economic impacts. Crisis can often have significant economic consequences, including loss of income, unemployment, increase of poverty, and reduced access to resources and essential services. Business may suffer from damage or closure, leading to further economic instability. There is what we call social disruption. Social disruption. Crisis can disrupt social networks and community cohesion, leading to isolation, breakdown of social support systems, and increased interpersonal conflicts. Displacement of evil may also exacerbate existing social inequalities and divisions. There is what we call psychological effects. Psychological effects. What are those, my friend? Crisis can have a long-lasting psychological effect, including post-traumatic stress disorder. We call it PTSD. It can also cause depression, cause anxiety disorders, and substance abuse. This effect may persist long after the crisis has ended and may require ongoing support and intervention. Number 7, we can also have a political institutional impact. A political and institutional impact. Crisis can challenge political and institutional structures, leading to changes in governance, policy responses, and public trust in institutions. This may also exacerbate existing political tensions or lead to social unrest and conflicts. Number 8, we can also have environmental consequences. Environmental consequences, crisis such as natural disaster or an environmental emergency, can have a long-lasting environmental consequences, including damage to ecosystem, pollution of water, air, and all other sources that we depend on, loss of biodiversity, and long-term impacts on climate and natural resources. Overall, the effect of crisis are multifaceted and can vary depending on the nature of crisis, the context in which it occurs, and the resources available to mitigate its impact. Effect crisis management and response efforts are essential for minimizing the negative effect and promoting recovery and resilience. How to overcome? My dear friend, I have several suggestions about how to overcome a season of crisis. Overcoming a season of crisis requires resilience, coping strategies, and support. Here are some suggested steps that can help you. 1, you need to acknowledge your feelings. You need to acknowledge your feelings. This is to say, allow yourself to acknowledge and process your own emotions. It is normal to feel a range of emotions during a crisis. including fear, anger, sadness, or anxiety. Acknowledge these feelings because they will help you to begin to cope up with the crisis effectively. Number 2, you need to seek support. You need to reach out to friends, family, or other support network for emotional support and practical assistance. Talking to others who understand what you are going through can provide comfort and perspective. Don't hesitate to seek professional help if you need it, such as from the therapist or counselors like I. Number 3, when people face crisis, they neglect themselves. Number 3 is, I say, take care of yourself. Nobody can come and take care of you. It is only you who can take care of yourself during this hard moment of crisis. Prioritize self-care during difficult times. Make sure you are eating well. Don't eat junk foods. Don't eat rubbish. Make sure you eat a balanced diet food. Get enough sleep. Don't build castles in the air because you are facing challenges. Engage yourself in activities that will bring joy and will make you relax. Physical activities, mindfulness practices, and relaxation techniques can also help you to reduce stress and promote your well-being. Number 4, you need to focus on what you can control. Don't build castles in the air, but focus on what you can control. While it is unnatural to feel overwhelmed by things outside your control during a crisis time, focus on what you can control. Break tasks into smaller portions, manageable steps, and take proactive steps to address challenges where possible. Number 5, practice resilience. In this, I mean, cultivate resilience by maintaining a positive outlook, adapting to change, and finding meaning and purpose of difficult circumstances you are going through. Recognize your strength and past success and draw on them to navigate through the current situation. Recognize the strength that you have. Compare the past experience, how you succeeded. Then you draw on them to navigate through the current crisis. Number 6, stay informed but limit exposure. I repeat, stay informed but limit exposure. Stay informed about developments related to crisis, but be mindful on how much news you get and information that can consume you. Limit exposure to media coverages, TikToks, Instagram, WhatsApp. If it is causing you additional stress or anxiety, focus on trusted resources of information. Number 7, seek stability and routine. establish routines and structures in your daily life to provide stability and productivity by maintaining a sense of normalcy can help you reduce feeling of chaos and uncertainty during crisis. Number 8, you need to practice gratitude. You need to practice gratitude. Focus on things you are grateful for. Even in challenging times, practice gratitude. That can help you shift out your perspective and cultivate a sense of resilience and hope. Number 9, you need to help others. Although you are passing through crisis, you need to touch the life of others. In this, I mean, look for opportunities to help others who may be struggling like you during the crisis time. Act of kindness and generosity not only benefit those in need, but can also boost your own sense of purpose and well-being. Number 10, be patient and persistent. When people are facing crisis, they are not patient. They are not persistent. Overcoming a season of crisis takes time. I repeat, take this note. When you want to overcome a season of crisis, take time and be persevere. Perseverance is very important. Be patient with yourself. Be patient on others. And remember that healing and recovery are gradual. I repeat, healing and recovery are gradual process. Celebrate small victories and milestones along the way you have gone through. Remember that it is okay to ask for an help and prioritize your well-being during difficult times. By taking proactive steps to care for yourself and seek support, you can navigate through the challenges of crisis, emerge stronger on the other side. My friend, you can consult if you have a long-lasting crisis, therapist and counselors. You can call me on the screen that you see, the number on the screen. I know the breakthrough moment with the Reverend Dr. Samson Kalama has helped you in one way or the other. My dear friend, I welcome you for another program as the Lord keeps us. May I pray with you for the crisis that you are going through. Our dear Lord and our dear Father, I pray for my friend who is going through difficult situation, difficult times because of crisis. May you, Lord, heal him or her. May you give him, possess victories in all milestones along the way he goes. I thank you, dear Lord, because of your love and your kindness. For your mercies are ever present in every new beginning of a morning. Thank you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord help you. We meet once again on the other episode. Karibuni sana.